Hi, everybody. We are here with Joe Ritchie. He's campus executive chef at Central Washington University. Hey, Joe. Thanks for being on the show.
Hi, how are you? Thank you.
Awesome. So good to see you and talk to you. We featured you guys like in a few different stories in the past, and it's awesome to see how you're doing right now. All things considered. I just want to jump right in. The first thing that I want to talk about is you guys introduced a new concept the same time that all this quarantine stuff started, and it's kind of unusual. So I wanted to see, but it also kind of fits. So I want you to explain how this came about. Tell me about the concept.
Well, the new concept is called Fresh Bar, and it was a concept that was kind of centered on health and wellness, a juice bar, poke bar, and then some hot entrees that feature local beef and free-range chicken and things like that. It was a concept that we've been kind of put in the works for about a year, and the goal had been to open it spring quarter, and then all of a sudden, when everything happened, we decided, hey, let's just go with it and open the concept anyway. And
Cool.
it was exciting to have that. We were consolidating operations all across the campus
Yeah.
down to our student union building, which is where we were opening the concept. And it just made sense to open it up and have that be, a healthy option for all of the students who ended up remaining on campus.
For sure. So the healthy foods really sound good. I got a little bit of a look at the menu, but I wanted to leave that to you to explain. Especially the bowls sound really cool, and that's a trend that we had seen happening, and now is kind of a good time because they're healthy and they're portable. So tell me about some of the menu items.
We have been getting an increased interest from our students in vegan options and healthy options. So we covered a lot of bases with these bowls. You know, the most popular bowl that we have is called the Mediterranean bowl, and it's centered around this really delicious, fresh tabbouleh salad with, hot, crispy pita bread, fresh hummus,
Oh yeah.
tzatziki, cucumbers. And then we also have some vegan bowls, the Buddha bowl, which is really popular, and they have, a variety of different dressings and whatnot. And the neatest
Nice.
part about the concept is that we're able to use all of the produce that's coming off of our campus farm, which is really exciting because it's a small concept, but we're able to use things kind of last minute.
Oh, that's very cool. And you are in Washington State. So and I noticed it's a really different climate. Like spring comes a lot sooner. I see like on people's social media, it's like, what in the world? You guys have flowers now. So is the farm kind of happening right now?
Yeah, we started some things early on in spring in some greenhouses, and so those are flourishing right now. But we're starting to see radishes and spinach and different spring greens and some things like that. So it's an exciting time.
Oh yeah, very cool. Because I think getting back to nature is like just really good therapy too. While this is all happening, a lot of people are trying to garden and do things like that. So which of the items would you say are doing the best?
The fresh juices are just taking off. We
Cool.
bought a NutriFast juicer, a NutriFaster from Seattle. It's a neat little company, and we kind of just centered the whole concept on this juicer. And so we're doing all kinds of different fresh juices. And I think the guests love being able to come up and grab fresh juice that's made right in front of them. We've also got a citrus juicer, so we're doing fresh OJ every morning and
Oh yeah.
grapefruit juice, really tasty stuff.
Yeah.
And then of course the bowls, and then we have like a daily entree, which could be, grilled local salmon, it could be, grass-fed beef, things like that, that feature different vegetables and things that we're getting from either the farm or just locally fresh product.
That sounds good. It sounds like you have some variety in there too, like to keep things fresh. Pardon the pun. But
Exactly.
for the juice, like I think it's really cool because it plays into that wellness thing. Like I know that I want to get this with all of these. It's like a functional thing, like where this is going to make me feel better. So what are some of the ingredients that you have in there? Are you doing like I see some greenery behind you? Do you have like some wheatgrass that goes into those?
We got a wheatgrass juicer. We definitely do little shots of wheatgrass that you can get in the morning. We
Love
do the
it.
green juices. My favorite is the spirit, which is fresh apples, beets, carrot, and then ginger. So it's got that little kick of ginger, which I love. A lot of our juices feature a little bit of ginger, and lemon, things like that,
Oh
just
yeah.
kind of give the juice a little bit of vibrancy. I've never been a juice person, but I
Uh-huh.
drink a juice every single day now, so I love
It's
it.
cool. It kind of powers you up. Like I had been doing some fresh squeezed orange juice with my daughter, and like just having that in the morning, it's like, whoa, this is really, you just like become very like energized by it. I think there's definitely something to that. And that kind of leads me into the next thing that I wanted to talk about, because we've heard a lot about different colleges and really like all restaurants offering just a ton of like comfort food. It's fried chicken and mac and cheese, and I know that you do offer some things like that. So how do you kind of address like keeping that balance of like making people feel cozy and cared for, but it's like, well, you need to get some greens in there too?
It's all about just offering balance. I think that,
Mm-hmm.
with opening this new concept, we wanted to have that option available, but at the same time, we're not going to dictate what people eat. And so
Yeah.
we kept the burger joint open at the same time, and it's been very popular. So people, they want, I mean, especially in this situation, people want to be able to come in and get their chicken fingers and fries, or their curly fries and tots, whatever they want. And so just giving them the options, I think, is the key for us.
Yeah, because I think like it on different days you might need something different, and I'm trying to get back into the more healthy side of it because I've been having an alarming amount of fast food because I really used to keep it like as a treat. You know, I was very good for a very long time, but it's just like with delivery and not even having to leave the house to get it, it's gotten to be a little bit much. So, around how many students do you still have on campus?
We've got about 3 to 500 in-campus housing, and then also campus apartments. So we're seeing a couple hundred a day come through, and it's actually been kind of fun for us because we've gotten to know them a little bit better because it's a smaller sample that we're seeing. So
Right.
some of the same people coming in, breakfast and lunch, or breakfast and dinner, and so we've been able to kind of develop those relationships a little bit more.
That's very cool. Are a lot of them international students that just didn't have a way to get home?
No, a lot of the international students ended up getting out, which is great for them. But we had some people who maybe were from out of state, or just didn't have a means of getting out. And so, if they're here, we're going to take care of them. So we've really been going going the extra mile to make sure that we're giving them options and giving them exciting new things and little surprises here and there. So today, we're going to be giving out free ice cream to all the students, and just
Nice.
little things like that. Try to create a little bit of fun in
Hmm.
this environment.
I think it really is important to just do little things that can make somebody's day. You may not realize, like just some free ice cream. I mean, that would make my day at this point. Sounds wonderful.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And you just in that same vein of like having more time to get to know people and do other things, like have you been getting inspired and coming up with some new menu items during this time?
Absolutely. I mean, I moved here about a year ago, and so I've been kind of getting to know the area and getting to know some of the people who are producing in the area. So I think our focus in the future is trying to develop some relationships with some of the local ranchers and farmers. This is cattle company, or cattle country, and a lot of ranchers around here. So we're trying to develop those relationships, maybe get some local beef on the menu, and things
Oh
like
yeah.
that.
That sounds good for more of the burgers. It might be a good,
Exactly.
or because you probably could order like a half of a cow from these folks if you wanted to. They probably have it set up that way, you know.
Exactly.
For sure. Where did you come from originally? Where did you grow up?
I grew up on the west side of the state, so just east of Seattle, and I've spent the
Okay.
last, I don't know, 5 or 10 years in Seattle working at various places.
Okay. So this where you're at now is a little bit more like inland, would you say?
Exactly. So the
Yeah.
Cascade foothills kind of divide Washington
Mhm.
um, about a quarter of the way into the state, and so we're on the dry side of the Cascades. So it's a little bit drier climate, a little more agrarian area.
That sounds good. And this is kind of a wild card question, but what do you think of really weird mashups? Like I saw the chef in Minnesota. He'd done like he crusted something with Funyuns, like just really weird, or things with Cheetos. Like have you? It seems like boredom maybe throughout this whole thing is driving chefs to do some like pretty unusual stuff. Like here, what's your stance on that?
Well, I've worked in places where we did that. I worked at a fine dining restaurant in Colorado, up in the ski country, and we had two menu items on the menu, and the owner told me these are sacred cows. These are the items that can never come off.
Uh-huh.
And I was skeptical at first, but then I realized after the first season why. And one of them was Ritz cracker crusted walleye pike, and then
Ooh,
the other was pretzel crusted pork chops. And
nice.
I mean, we couldn't keep them prepared fast enough. I mean, people would order them just so many every night, and it was ridiculous. And then
Cool.
when you actually sat down and ate one, you realize, hey, this is a pretty tasty thing. It's not something that I would normally associate with fine dining, but that
Hmm.
pretzel crusted pork chop and an ice cold beer was pretty tasty.
That sounds great. Absolutely. So on that note, I think that we've got our video interview. So thank you so much for taking the time, and keep up the good work with feeding those folks out there. And we're going to keep in touch with you as this all goes on. And just have a good rest of your day.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.